Horror porn parodies.
Welcome to Slice and Dice Dreadcast.
That's scary, all right. Holy shit.
Episode 8. Episode 8 is here, and we have James and Jim.
What's up, everybody?
What's going on?
I'm fucking around with sound effects and being silly tonight, so be prepared to get annoyed by minute 24. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, man.
All right, I gotta put the phone down enough.
Joe, we got a new toy.
Well, welcome back to the Slice and Dice Dreadcast, our roulette-style horror movie discussion podcast. Once again, I'm here with JJ Mac McCarthy, Jimmy B from Pitt, and we're here to talk about two films tonight. One of them, the 2011 scarecrow horror flick, Husk, and the 1983 classic slasher that started it all for the summer camp. Not it didn't start at all, but the reverse of Friday the 13th. Anyway, I'll talk about that later. Sleepaway camp. Sleepaway camp. Just think about, before we go in, I don't want to save it for a few minutes. Anyway, what's going on, fellas? How you doing? Happy New Year's. We just posted our last episode yesterday because I've been on delay for the past week. Sorry about that. So Happy New Year's once again. Merry Christmas and all the works. Gents, what's going on?
Not much, man. You know, doing the New Year's thing, trying to stay busy with doing nothing because you never have enough time to do all the nothing you want to do. So, you know, watching.
Boy, I love a lot of nothing.
Yeah, I'm with it. I had so much of nothing to do this week. I watched every Purge movie.
I did not see any of those yet.
Yeah, the last episode I mentioned, I picked up Purge Election Year, and I hadn't seen it yet. But now that I watched it, that's a good movie, man. Everybody should go check that out.
All right.
I've been just sitting here enjoying doing nothing. I mean, that's basically all I've been doing too. So watching these movies and shit, and starting a new year, you know, doing absolutely jack shit.
Wow, I'm like nonstop on the go. I want to just do nothing. Can I do nothing? Please?
It's underrated, but it's cool.
It's fantastic when you're just nonstop. When you have constant nothingness, yeah, then it's, you know, throw me off the Verrazano, you know? But anyway, I've been going to some concerts, seeing my boys.
Joey's been fishing. Ah, the new tattoo.
Got a Phantasm tattoo.
It's pretty sweet.
I'm, you know, hanging with the kids, getting ready to go back to work tomorrow, and that's it, man. Watching movies, doing my thing. So that's what's going on, huh? Well, for our listeners that are just tuning in, we are now joining the Horrorphilia Network along with the Death by Podcast. And Jason Lloyd and all the other great podcasts out there. Looking forward to, you know, shooting the breeze and sharing the shit together. There are a lot of good Facebook groups out there, so, you know, you could join them and have some good discussions, including ours, which is Death by Podcast, horror movie discussion, and more, some shit like that. So, yeah, that's what's going on, folks. You want to jump right into the thick of things?
Let's do it, man.
Anything else you got to say? Nothing else, I guess.
Well, we're gonna discuss anything like our new Instagram account or anything yet, or not?
Oh yeah.
Anybody out there with Instagram, Slice and Dice Dreadcast has an Instagram account that will be, letting you know when new episodes are posted, what movies we got watching, and just other random horror images and any other stuff we might think is cool get thrown up on there that you might dig. So check it out if you got it. Slice _ dice _ Dreadcast. A lot of underscores, but it's worth it. We're worth it. So
we have our first fanatic already, so that's good.
Oh shit! What was the name? Shout out to her.
Yeah, it was
Marina.
Marina.
Maria.
Hold on.
Mariana or something. I don't know.
Miriam. Hold on. Miriam Love, I think her name was on the Instagram.
Miriam
It's like the shows,
shout
great,
out to you.
all that.
Shout out to you.
Appreciate her. Once we get merch, we'll send her something.
Of course.
It's a shout out.
And Miriam Love. So shout out to her. Cool chick. Already up on the Instagram. It only got made like 3 hours ago. So
holla.
Yeah, if you got an Instagram account, yeah. And if you already got one, check it out. If you don't, make one and just follow us. So don't take no time off. You can do it all from your cell phone.
I will post topless photos every once a week, all right?
Hey, they got to pay for that.
That'll be part of the Patreon.
We'll have weekly Joey in a robe photos.
Nip hanging out.
Areolas everywhere. It'll be fantastic.
Everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Take it off. Oh, Madonna Mia. So, yeah, we're all going to talk about Husk now, I guess. It seems like whenever we have something that this first movie, we always tend to sidetrack because it seems like, well, let's hear it.
Yeah.
Husk. So, Jim, do you have the synopsis?
I do.
Oh, there you go.
Is that him? I got to make sure now that it's not me dying out. Is it? Are you hearing that too, James?
I'm here. I just heard it with Joey. Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure it's not me since I changed shit up on my end. All right. Husk is basically a group of friends stranded near a desolate cornfield find shelter in an old farmhouse. Though they soon discover the dwelling is the center of a supernatural ritual. This movie is from 2011, filmed in Des Moines, Iowa.
Plenty of corn out there, eh?
Plenty of corn out there.
Those Iowans have corn out the ass.
So this one was written and directed by Brett Simmons, and I usually I'm a big fan of when the film is written and directed by the same person.
Yeah, it's their vision.
Right. So I'm a big fan of that, but sometimes it doesn't always work out so well. He also directed The Monkey's Paw. I don't know if any of you guys seen that one. It was like I don't know if it was a sci-fi movie or not, but I saw it on Sci-Fi Channel.
I definitely heard of it. I don't know if I ever watched it, but I definitely heard of it.
Yeah, it sounds familiar, but I definitely didn't see it.
It wasn't the best, but interesting film. But other than that, I don't really know anything else by him. But yeah, I think this was it was an interesting concept that, in my opinion, was not executed the right way. Before I go into my whole spiel, I want to hear what you gents have to say. So, Jim, what are you working with when it comes to Husk? Baseline thoughts.
I definitely think this was just judging by the use of only like pretty much a cornfield and a house the whole time. I don't know if it had to do with any kind of money issues or whatnot, but it was definitely simplistic. I think it was a good idea. I thought it had a couple good jump scares. Acting actually was not that bad in my opinion, especially after watching Sleepaway Camp. right before that.
Nah.
And no, I didn't think. I remember seeing this before. Like I said, when we picked it. I think I saw it on TV at some point. Watching it again kind of refreshed my memory a little bit, but no, it wasn't. It wasn't that awful to me, and I just think they could have done a little bit more with it if it was maybe a little bit longer and maybe a little more budget. But no, I mean, I gave it a watch. I didn't turn it off, and I'd
I
recommend
hope
it.
you didn't turn it off. That's cheating.
That's cheating.
No, I watched the whole thing. And that chick
You
was
must
hot.
endure it all.
It sucks she dies, but yeah. Spoiler alert.
After we spoil it,
man.
throw that spoiler up.
Damn right.
Let me get a sound effect for it. Hold on, sound effect.
If they don't know we're gonna spoil movies, kiss my ass.
Hey, I'll be very upset.
Tammin Soursock is her name, and she is hot.
Listen, I know they thought it was funny, but you know, some people take that shit seriously, man.
Yeah. Oh Lord.
Oh boy. Okay. So anyway,
what you guys?
What are your baseline thoughts on Husk?
I kind of had high hopes for it, you know, seeing the scarecrow and stuff. Especially living down here in Florida now. When I leave my community, there's like farms everywhere. So with the humidity down here, you go out early in the morning at times, and there's just this like crazy, creepy ass fog that rolls across the tops of these fields, and you're just waiting for a. What the fuck, man? You're waiting for like a demonic scarecrow to jump out at you sometimes.
Like that?
Like that.
Sure.
That's kind of the running joke with my wife when we first moved down here. But I got to tell you, I was not overly fond of this movie by the end of it. I was with it in the beginning for a while, and then, I mean, once we get into it, there was one specific part where I kind of just was like, what the fuck? And then after that, all kinds of plot holes to me that just annoyed the crap out of me and whatever. So, yeah.
The track star guy, you know, there was the chess nerd, the track star guy, the gritty guy, the one who was missing, right? I don't remember their names.
Yeah,
I have it in my notes, but track star guy, I just kept seeing fucking Ronnie from the Jersey Shore. I was like, I couldn't take him seriously. His acting was horrible. The acting in this movie was horrible. Sorry, it totally took me away from this movie. These characters were not fleshed out enough. They were the classic archetypes. It's not into these people. Like, chick got whacked first, did not care. Didn't care.
Well,
they, you know, it wasn't fleshed out. You know, they didn't have any depth to them. I mean, if you cared about these characters more, then you might care about the movie more. Although there was some aspects of this movie that I liked. Scarecrows, that aspect I thought was fantastic. The way they looked, that scene in the car. Me and Mike were talking about this earlier today. That scene in the car was freaking nuts. It's just banging his head against the freaking window relentlessly. You know, the other one pops up on the side. That I thought was pretty awesome. And also, Mike brought up the way the movie builds with silence, right? It does a good job of using silence. So, you know, that stuff was good. But these characters, I mean, come on. It's like, yo, you guys had it out, and then the other guy, you know, Ronnie, that's what I'm going to call him for the rest of the episode, had to, like, be like, give me the keys. Like, dude, we can get out of here right now, man. No.
Brian was the track guy.
Brian, I think it was.
Brian, yeah. He was a track guy.
So, yeah, I couldn't get into it, you know. I thought the mythology in the film was ridiculous. This father and two boys, like, it was just how do you fit this in? Oh, we'll just have this character have these random flashbacks. Okay, no problem. I thought that was corny.
Yeah, that was terrible.
No pun intended.
Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, let's pick the nerdy dude and give him the flashbacks. I don't know, no point.
All of a sudden, this kid's fucking clairvoyant and could see the past and the future. And, like, you know, I just hear people hitting the unsubscribe button every time.
Yeah, that just sounds like shit.
The audience thought it was funny.
Doesn't sound like laughing at all. It sounds like you're scratching the damn microphone.
Yeah, but yeah, that shit was so stupid. Even the whole, oh god, Joe.
Yeah, stop it. I mean, they tried at the beginning, I think, to give some kind of backstory to the female and the driver. But did I miss it, or did they just like? She's like, I think he's mad at me, but they don't really figure out why. I don't know. It was just really weird.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly why, but they got left together, and all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, can I have a cigarette?" And everything was cool, and it totally just dissipated that whole thing. I was actually disappointed that she got whacked because it took that whole element of the relationship stuff out of it. But I guess at the same time, it had to happen because Ronnie wouldn't have gone so off the hinges.
I found that girl just to be so unbelievably needy and annoying in that first couple minutes when she's trying to talk him out of going into the field or going with him or whatever the hell it was she was trying to do. She reminded me of like every kid I know who had a girlfriend I hated. Like I can't stand needy, annoying chicks like that, and she was right up in there. But then she kind of she sees the dude in the cornfield when she first sees that scarecrow laying there. So for a second I was thinking, maybe this is going to be like a Children of the Corn type thing where, this is some weird like farmer kid and he knows what's going on, and the scarecrows are like he who walks behind the rose or whatever the fuck they call him, the Children of the Corn, and it was going to be something like that. But then once that kid started having visions, I completely was like, what the fuck is this bullshit?
I think it could have been better if she was kind of the central character, or maybe the nerd got killed off first or something, and then it would have brought a different aspect to it, except for these, just three dudes running around together and shit. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. It was I wasn't going in with high expectations, but I did expect a little bit more out of it.
Dude,
did you ever see Scarecrows?
No.
Watch Scarecrows.
I was just going to say,
Scarecrow.
Dude, there's an episode of Supernatural about like a demon scarecrow that's 1,000,000 times better than this movie.
You love Dean, don't you?
I do. I can't help it.
Mother flicker.
I did like the scarecrows though, like the costumes. And
I like the way they look,
and
you know me, man. I see a mask, and I'm all about that shit. So I was like really excited about this. But
I love the smiley.
Yeah, the smiley face one was fantastic. But even that shit, if you pull the mask off the fucking thing, it just dies, like it's no longer possessed. But then but how the fuck does it get into the house to make the friggin' mask if it needs the mask to be alive? You know what I'm saying?
It's not wearing a mask to get walking around. Yeah.
And it could, like, once it gets the mask on, now all of a sudden, once it goes back into the cornfield, it can't come back out. Like, and even with the friggin' whole, like, I'm gonna keep my toes in the cornfield and lean out like a friggin' wide receiver trying to stay in bounds. It was.
I'm halfway in. I'm in.
I was like, this is the stupidest fucking thing I ever seen in my life. I was like, at that point, I was just getting mad at it. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was ridiculous. If they're walking up into the house by themselves, no problem, to go sew themselves a fucking scarecrow mask. Hello, how are you? Not going to function when it's off. I mean, yeah, it wasn't like I said, the mythology and the rules weren't fleshed out. Out of nowhere, that whole like subplot of the origins of it all. You know, the father and the two sons and the pitchfork through the chest, and then later same kind of kill. I was like, nah.
Well, even the fact,
sorry,
they, when he has to go get the lighter or something, and it's like all of a sudden he figured it out. This thing, it's busy, and that's why we could go through it. Like, how could it control all of them at once? And then once one goes that is making the mask that difficult for this friggin' thing that it can't still control the ones in the friggin' cornfield while the dead one's making the mask. Like, that shit made no sense to me.
Like, just make more than one mask at a time and then just have them on standby.
I'm like, who's replenishing the freaking drawer of nails?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's controlling all this? Like, what's going on exactly? I don't know.
Yeah, potato sacks all over the place. Like, oh my god!
All of a sudden, everybody knows how to run a loom.
Yeah. But even the way they end up kind of breaking down with all the birds like kamikaze in the windshield. Like, I'm just sitting there and thinking like, all right, all of them are gonna have bird flu now, and that's the real fucking killer in this movie.
The movie opened up good. I thought that was interesting.
Dude, I was with it, like I said, up until that kid started fucking, seeing the fucking past and all kinds of dumb shit.
Yeah. I thought the scarecrows were really interesting, especially the whole, because you don't really know exactly what their weapon is until you see really the girl is when I was like, oh shit, that's like their weapon, And the first guy, you see the nails in the hand, but it really didn't sink in that, oh, these are their weapons. This is what they're slashing them with, Yeah. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's almost like Freddy Krueger glove, But other than that, man, that's all I liked about it. The kills, the scarecrow, the way they looked, the suspense that was built up, like when they're looking up close to it, And I give it props. It didn't have too many cheesy jump scares, so that's a good thing.
Well, what was scaring the crowd, you could kind of call.
Hold on a second, James. Joey, you moving that filter around really scratchy loud on the mic.
Oh.
Yeah. People are gonna be listening.
Hear it,
What am I listening to? All right, go ahead, James.
All right. My thing is, they show these dudes hammering the nails through their fucking fingers, right? How were they pounding the nail through their finger and not nailing themselves to the loom?
Well, who was it? One of them was doing it and then yanked their hand up.
It was
kind of doing it to the table, but then their hand ripped up.
Okay, so I must have, because I was like, why aren't they all just stuck there on the loom? Which probably would have been a really funny scene to walk in and see all of them trying to fuck. Or one running through the field dragging the loom behind them.
Trying to loom behind them.
That would have made the movie fucking good, at least. God.
They were fast as hell, though, man.
They were fast, scarecrows.
Yeah. They were brutal.
I was Wizard of Oz scarecrow. These motherfuckers are fast.
And I'll tell you about the jump scares. To me, I could kind of you kind of could call when they were coming. But because I have to, because watching through Shudder, I have to run it from my phone through the Apple TV. So for some reason, when I do that, sometimes the volume gets all jacked up. So I had to have the TV on 80. So it was actually the music that would scare the crap out of me, because all of a sudden it was boom. It scared the dogs. They jumped up when the friggin' music would blast off like that. So there was a lot of those jump scares though.
There's a good few.
What about the whole chess analogy? All of a sudden, it was oh, it's like a game of chess over here now, and I'm a chess master. Perfect.
I see the scoreboard now. I know exactly what's happening.
Any sillier? Can this movie get any sillier?
If you know all you gotta do is pull the friggin' hood off the thing, why didn't they just keep trying to do that instead of, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, the car scene, like you mentioned before, that was cool. The scarecrows themselves were cool, but everything else about this movie, I'm done with.
You got to promote a porn, man. Queen me. Get the fuck out of here. That should have been established way earlier in the movie if that's a trope that you wanted to go through this film. To have it just only in passing say, "Oh, I'm on the chess team," and then all of a sudden, it's like a whole big strategic thing. I don't know. That it needed to be fleshed out more. Too many wanting to, I guess, come full circle where I don't know. It's like I'm more concerned about a simple story, and then you could like add all that stuff around it. If you had the mythology and the rules of this movie fleshed out better, it might have worked more. But if you're not invested in the movie, you're not gonna look too deep and go crazy with it.
What about if instead of the vision thing, if they would have had a scene, the movie open up to the dad and these two farm boys doing everything, and we knew it all from the beginning, and then it jumped forward to now to this car coming in, and all this kind of shit started happening to them. You know what I mean?
Right. I think you maybe see the pictures on the barn like they did, and that would be perfect because learning that and 45 minutes into the movie does not change if you know it 40 in the very beginning. It wasn't like a big plot twist or anything. So I think that was a great idea, Jim. I think the movie would have worked a lot better because then the nerd wouldn't be having these flashbacks where it's like, what?
I know. All of a sudden, the kid's fucking. All of a sudden, the kid's Patricia Arquette in the median.
Yeah, it just didn't make any fucking sense, and I don't know. There's a lot, like I said, hindsight's 2020. We didn't make the damn movie, but I don't know. Just something. I feel like a lot of these movies we watch, which are the lower budget type unknown movies, could be a lot better if just like one or two little things were changed. But I don't know.
Jim, I didn't hear you. I'm sorry, it cut out.
Oh shit!
I heard.
I said
it's Joey's side. Don't feel bad.
Oh, that's Joey's side. Okay.
Sorry.
I just said a lot of these movies we watch could be a lot better if one or two things were changed, probably.
Right. I mean, I guess that's what happens, right? I mean, we're not. I mean, I don't know, Jim. You are a filmmaker or something. I'm not sure, but me and James didn't make any films, but as a writer, if I put my work out there, you better be ready for the criticism, but at the same time, when you're putting something out and you have things like that going on, like major plot holes, that's a big problem. That's a major. You could have a sucky score, cheesy acting, terrible looking kills, and still have fun with a movie, right?
I think a lot of things fall through the cracks when they're making a movie because a lot of movies aren't shot in succession. Like they're not shot like beginning, middle, end. They're usually shot in and out of like different areas. So I think if somebody's not keeping tabs on what the hell they shot or some things
he's probably.
I feel like I've been hearing Charlie Brown's mother.
Yeah, you got chopped up there, Jim.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I know you were saying something extremely important. Oh, I lost you where movies aren't filmed in succession. That's where it started to go out.
Oh, that's great. I said, oh fuck. Yeah, if somebody's not paying attention when you're filming these type of movies, there's a lot of things that can get overlooked that maybe continuity wise wouldn't make sense, but because they're not filming in order, maybe a lot of stupid stuff that we noticed after the fact just weren't noticed during the filming.
Right. I was watching Gremlins and I was thinking to myself, like, what if they had like some kind of food that had, like was made with water in it? Think of how many things like water is an ingredient, even though it's like a solid or, you know what I mean? Like watermelon, for example, right? It's a fruit, but it's got water in it. Like, what if they ate a cucumber? That shit is loaded with water. I started thinking about weird shit like that. Like, you think Joe Dante was thinking about fucking watermelon and water content? So I was thinking about things, and I'm like, I wonder how you're gonna bathe that pet. You know, you gotta like, however you take care of dreadlocks, you probably need that stuff. You know, like,
You gotta get that dust they give the chinchillas to get clean. You ever see that stuff?
no,
Yeah, it's like
dust.
keep the chinchillas clean.
You know, I'm just thinking shit like that. But I mean, that's part of the game, right? It's part of the detail, and you're making this movie for what reason? Are you making it because you want to make it for the art value of it? Are you just you got signed on as a writer director to make this movie, and now you just got to work with what you got? There's so many different factors that come into it, I guess. But you put that product out there. If I guess your expectations, like, I know I make a horror short, it's probably gonna suck. I'll put it out there and I'll get my asshole torn up, no problem. But that's me doing it as a fun hobby. This guy's obviously trying to make a real deal horror movie.
Well, this was a short, right, originally, and then he made, because I think I saw that somewhere, that this was a short, and then he decided to make he was able to make a full feature film or whatever.
Not sure.
Because I'm sure the short was probably dope, because the things are cool looking enough, and but then once you got to try to make this giant story out of it, and you got to come up with a background as to why this shit is happening. If this was just a movie about like evil scarecrows chasing people through cornfields, it would have been a million times better than trying to figure out the whole mythology to it. You know what I mean?
Right. The whole chess move, promoting your poems, and all that shit. Man. But yeah, I mean, I give props for making this movie. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't the worst movie ever. Yoga Hosers holds that crown.
Yeah, definitely.
Honestly, and on here on our website that I'm reading right now, it's saying that it is a remake of 1988 Scarecrows.
No, it is fucking not. It is most certainly not.
That's what it says.
It is most certainly not. I can tell you that 100%.
Word for word. This is a remake of 1988 film Scarecrow.
Where's this?
They're liars.
IMDb.
IMDb, they're lying. They obviously never seen Scarecrows.
They were trying to get people who saw Scarecrows and like it to go see this fucking thing.
First of all, people, it's about like hijacking an airplane and shit, and like landing in Mexico. That's bullshit.
No, that's kind of the same thing as crashing your car because birds flew into the windshield. Maybe a bird flew into the engine of the plane. You don't know, Joe.
Yeah, actually, it was a short. And in 2005, Husk was a short film, and in 2010 they made it into full length. So there you go.
Liars.
Line as
it's honestly on the Midnight Movie Review, worst 10 films of 2011, number 2 on the top 10.
Okay.
Yeah. So there you go. We're not wrong.
Well, we are not.
You want to rate this thing? Move on.
Yep. Yes, sir. This is not a remake.
It's really pissing him off.
It is. It really is pissing me off.
I just really when you brought up, hey, you guys got to go see Scarecrows. I scrolled down. I'm like, wait a minute. It says Scarecrows. It's a remake.
I mean, I guess the latter half of the film, a farmhouse and scarecrows killing you,
which is like every fucking Scarecrow movie ever made.
But I mean,
not the Wizard of Oz.
Well,
that's great.
Well, that movie fucked up in its own right.
Oh god. Anyway, I don't agree with that, but whatever. All right, enough of this shit. I'm going with 1.5 zombie heads. I really was not a big fan of this film. I did like those aspects that I mentioned earlier, the way the scarecrows looked. But, I'm not invested in these characters. I'm not invested in the mythology here. And certainly the whole cheesy... cheesy acting and bad acting, totally different things, right? When we talk about Sleepaway Camp, that's going to come up. But yeah, I don't want to harp on it because I really hate, talking bad about films because it's not an easy thing to do. And to actually get something that looked this good up and running, hey, I give it props for that. But at the same time, I got to be critical. And as a whole and collective, it falls flat on its face. So 1.5 zombie heads.
I'm going to agree. 1.5 for me. Like I said, it had a few good aspects, but I think it's just too many holes, too many things that just did not connect and make sense. Directions I wouldn't have taken. Had a few good things about it. Pretty much agree. The Scarecrow was a good thing. Started out pretty decent and just fell. I think that, like I said, the flashback thing I didn't like. They could have definitely shot it differently, made it differently. As a prelude to what we're seeing now, and it could have been different. So room for improvement. I'd say make this the second short, and then remake it about an hour and 45 minutes, and make it a better movie.
Right. Add some depth to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go 1.5 too, and I'm probably giving them a half a zombie head just because the scarecrows look cool. I'm like I said, I'm a sucker for masks. So if you have a movie with masks in it that look cool, and I give it like less than a fucking 3, then it wasn't a good movie. Yeah, I just like I said, there was a supernatural episode that had to do with scarecrows that was 1,000,000 times better than this, and they knocked that bitch out in an hour, including commercial breaks. So whatever, 1.5.
Yeah, and the girl who played Natalie was the only reason I gave it a half because she's pretty damn cute.
This is one of those after dark movies, and I really don't like much of them. Lake Mungo was good, and that's I just looking at the list, and it's like, fuck, man, these movies. The Abandoned was all right. Dark Ride, Grave Dancers, Hamilton's, Paint Dreadful, Snoop Dogg's Hood of Horror, Wicked Little Things. All those movies are fucking weak. Tooth and Nail. Frontiers. I didn't see Frontiers. Actually, I heard Frontiers is brutal. We're going to cover that on Death by Podcast. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. It's like one of those, labels that they slap on. Fucking Dimension Extreme, or produced by Eli Roth. It just has that label, and automatically I see it's an after dark movie. I'm like, oh, this is gonna suck, So I knew this was an after dark movie, but I still, the cover looked cool. I was expecting something a little better.
We didn't even discuss the ending. It was just really weird to this film.
It was, I don't know. I was like, everybody's dead. What the fuck happens now?
But the nerdy dude didn't die.
He was on the brink. He couldn't even speak. And the fucking scarecrow was there, toe tapped into the friggin' thing.
Then the strangers are running up to him and trying to help him and shit. Would they really pay attention to the fucking scarecrow or the bloody kid laying on the ground?
Yeah. I mean, I'm all for those come full circle endings where the shit happens again, but it didn't help the rest of the movie, couldn't it wasn't like the ending of the next film we'll talk about. So all right, so I guess we're all in
we'll have zombie heads out of 5.
We're all in unison on this one.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So before we go into Sleepaway Camp, you want to do our next movies? Knock that out real quick. Just take a little breather after that horrible movie discussion.
Horrible. I love Joey's I try not to be too critical. This movie's horrible. Fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
What the?
I said horrible discussion.
It's horrible. Our discussion about the movie was horrible. It wasn't so much the movie that Joey has an issue with.
Our discussions about these movies are pretty much better than the movies themselves. So fuck it.
Oh shit! All right, let's do this, folks.
In the middle now, we can basically, tell people about contacting us and doing things, on our social media pages. And if you see any movies that we're watching for our next episode, if you've seen them before or plan on seeing them and would like to be part of the show, you can definitely be part of our call here and beyond. So that's something that I always try to get people to do, to interact and all that. So anybody listening, feel free to get on our Facebook page or Instagrams or Horrorphilia.
A few people did make comments on, like on our Facebook group when one of us posts watching whatever. It's like I watching Husk, Mike was watching Husk, you were watching Husk. I remember, I think Jason Lloyd posted that he liked Husk, and I was like, oh wow, okay. So I respect his thoughts and criticisms, but everything's subjective, right? So anyway, fucking enough of the Husk. Yo,
maybe he never seen that episode of Supernatural, and that's why he thinks the Scarecrow movie's so good.
I never saw it. I mean, I saw some of season 1, but that's it.
Joey's like, Supernatural is way too Hollywood for me. I am not watching that shit.
Way too.
Nah.
I'm not opposed to it. It's just, I again, the bias gets slapped on there, Yeah. I
watched it when it first came out, then I fell off. Then I tried to watch Supernatural again through Netflix, and I was like binge watching it. And I started having too many dreams about like demonic possession, and I was like, you know what? Let me take a break from this, and I'll catch back up with it later. But the show is still on the air. It's like friggin' 15 seasons deep. I'm like, I'm never gonna have time to catch up with all that shit.
Still going down.
All my female friends are all obsessed with that. They go and they volunteer at the Supernatural conventions and shit, and they work for them and stuff. I'm like, what the fuck?
Hey, man.
Yeah, when I was watching Husk, Mike actually said, interested in hearing your thoughts. So I don't know what the hell I wanted to hear what he thought about it too, but oh well. That's all right.
Yeah. All right, ready? Let's get a number between 1 and 25, Jim.
11.
Come on, butthead. Page 11. All right, give me a 5x5 pick.
2 and 4.
2. Oh my God! Microwave Massacre.
What the fuck?
In this campy 80s horror comedy, a killer microwaves his victims and eats them. This is gonna be fun.
That's fantastic. I love that.
This is gonna be great. This is great. I'm looking forward to this.
That's gonna be fun.
It's tremendous.
And in the 80s too. So
I want to see how long it is.
Everything was better in the 80s.
Okay.
Of course.
Oh man, this is gonna be great.
Than an hour and 25 runtime.
Hour and 15. Even shorter.
Holy shit.
All right, so Microwave Massacre.
Microwave Massacre.
Great.
Unbelievable.
All right, James, give me a page between 1 and 25.
2.
All right, 2 and a 5x5 pick.
1 and 4.
Baby blood. A parasite implants itself in a woman's uterus and makes her feed it lots of blood.
What the fuck?
1990, France, 84 minutes, not rated.
Oh
yeah,
baby
this
blood?
is gonna be fucking nuts.
Baby blood. What the actual fuck?
This is gonna be an interesting expose and not knowing what the fuck we're getting into.
Oh man,
I feel like every week there was at least one movie that we knew of and had an idea of, at least, if not have already seen. But next episode is going to be a doozer, man. Shit. Wow,
this is definitely a foreign film here.
Wow, I mean, it's got 5 skulls.
rated R for bizarre violence and gore, sexuality, and language. So that'll be fun.
All right, sweet,
I like
man.
when it's bloody and sexual.
I love bloody tits.
Go watch Nina Forever. Did you ever see that one?
No.
No,
Yeah, watch that one.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
It's right up your alley, Jim.
I bet.
It's
Never came to your mind after hearing bloody tits.
It's about this couple who's the man's ex-girlfriend comes back from the dead and out of the middle of their mattress soaked in blood, and yeah, they have like this weird fucking sexual menage a trois with this
ghost or some shit.
Yeah, exactly.
What the fuck?
It's fucking weird.
Oh god, you gotta love that. Like this comes up in people's minds, and somehow they manage to make movies out of it.
Yep. All right, so we got our movies for next week. So we got 1990s Baby Blood and 1980 something's Microwave Massacre. Wow.
Oh my god.
Just wow.
What a fucking day it's gonna be.
All right. Well, yeah, Microwave Massacre. It's 1983. Well, speaking of 1983, let's segue to the next film, 1983's Sleepaway Camp.
Ooh,
written and directed by Robert Hitzik. So, Hiltzik, whatever you want to.
Hiltzik.
Am I the only one that hadn't seen this at each bus?
You never saw this?
I've heard of it, but I never saw it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen this movie a shitload of times. So,
all right.
I know that when you know the ending, it still holds up. But that first viewing, man,
it was tough, man.
I was like 14. I was like,
you know what?
Fuck.
I was fucking loving it up to that point anyway. And then when that happened, I was like, I don't know if we want to give the actual twist or later or try to do our best to work around it. But
yeah, let's save our spoilers.
Jim,
don't do it. Don't do it. I'll start putting laugh tracks on.
Now, if you ever watch like any of these, like AMC or Bravo, I think it had like countdowns and shit, like horror, like whatever countdowns, and a lot of like old actors will get on and talk about movies and stuff. This is always one that they talk about the shock ending.
Yeah, they always say this is the biggest shock ending since Psycho. That's the famous line right there.
Why? What happened in Psycho?
Oh my gosh! Get the fuck out of here! Get out of here! Jeez Louise!
What, an old lady killing people, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, that's what I thought.
But he actually only directed this one, and then the I guess true sequel, Return to Sleepaway Camp, because they had Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3, and I've seen those also. When I was a kid, I used to always rent that shit from Universal Video and Blockbuster. I loved these movies when I was a kid, and they go a totally different route than the original. The original, even though it has the humorous, campy elements, it's taken seriously, where the two sequels, 2 and 3, are just like cheese fests, Great, all about the kills,
Actually, the Return to Sleepaway was actually 2008, so
yeah,
it was a long time.
Yeah, and Felissa Rose replays Angela. So, all right, before we go into it, because we should definitely put our spoilers up in a couple of minutes, let's just get our baseline thoughts. James, since this was your first viewing, let's hear it.
Hey, man, I wasn't sure what to expect, but I mean, just the way it started when you got a boat capsize, and I was like, oh no, it's the reef all over again. but like, yeah, a touch different than the reef. Yeah, man, I tell you, it starts off, and there's the big tragedy in the beginning, and then you see these two like adolescent kids getting ready to go to sleepaway camp with a creep show mom there, and and basically from that point on, I was like, this is gonna be something, man. This is, and it kind of was, man. I loved pretty much every second of this movie.
I love the kills in this movie. They're great.
Yeah, the even the well, I mean, it starts off and they get to the camp and all the cooks are standing around, and it's like pedophilia is hysterical.
Oh my god,
that dude's giving all these creepy comments, and the rest of them are just chucking it up, man. Like, what the hell? But yeah, it was fantastic, man.
This was, I think of things like, would this hold up today? Like, is this, a homophobic film or transphobic? I guess that's a word.
I think that's why it would hold up today, because of what today's culture is about with these LGBT things and shit.
I mean, we're post Caitlyn Jenner now, so it's like, and I mean, I guess if you've never seen Sleepaway Camp, shut the podcast off, go watch this movie, and then come back and listen. We're throwing our spoilers up. You really can't talk about this movie unless you know the ending. So I'm going to give you 5 seconds to shut the shit off, and we're going to continue on with our conversation in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So, I mean, we don't have to blow our wad yet, but
that's what she said.
Okay, let me just take a step back here.
Just give Jim a second, let him finish his puzzle, and then
I got it going.
Go back a couple episodes to the Pieces episode.
Yeah, go watch the Pieces episode.
Holy shit, I just realized Pieces, puzzle pieces.
Joe, really?
Joe, I was just thinking.
You didn't Joey that one during the movie?
I was just about to say, you didn't Joey that to begin with? Like,
no.
The kid who found symbolism in alpha dad dog in the pack and all that bullshit you were talking about on that episode. Didn't really pick up on the pieces thing?
Wow, no. I mean, we didn't talk about it in that episode that I can recall. I was just thinking like body pieces, pieces of the body. That's what I was thinking.
Christ almighty, this is fantastic.
Holy shit.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, back to Sleepaway Camp. So Sleepaway Camp. This is, an iconic slasher from the 80s. So, like James said, it opens up. We have, this family, father and kids swimming, major boating accident. And the father and the son.
A child.
One of the kids
father and the child pass, right? So, flash forward, and we have Ricky and Angela, cousins, and Ricky's mother is now Angela's guardian because her sibling and father passed. So they're off to sleepaway camp. Then we get the pedophilic cooks. So, at sleepaway camp, well, let's talk about Angela. Angela's character, she's basically a mute. She doesn't speak except to Ricky, her cousin, because of the trauma from the accident. Now, I got a question. How long do you think between the accident and sleepaway camp is there? Because she's got to be no more than 14, 15 in the movie. Angela.
I would say in the beginning they look maybe 7-ish.
Yeah, 7, 8, like that, I'd say. So,
right. So
6, 7 years.
6, 7 years, right? So, I think of things like, because you don't get the exact backstory, all you get is a couple of scenes. You get 2 scenes with the mother, right? Who, like James says, is a creepy ass BI, right? You get that one scene where she is a child and she walks in on her father who is with a man.
Well, that was the dude who was on the shore during the boat thing, right?
Yeah.
You kind of realized then
Right.
it wasn't just like a family friend. It was, Pops' side piece.
They were bumping up.
Right. And we don't. Do we get her mother? No, we never get her mother or
No.
anything. So, you don't know exactly what the deal is. What? Well, all right. We told you the spoilers. What her motives are, because he is the killer.
I mean, I put it this way: if you never saw the movie before, you will not know on until pretty much last 10 minutes of the movie. The last flashback of the mother and all that stuff. Other than that, if you didn't know the ending, you probably are kind of like trying to guess what's going on.
Right. I mean, the first time you see this, you don't know who the killer is.
I mean,
you don't.
Yeah, and I tell you, watching it for the first time, I was kind of hoping it was her. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it wasn't Ricky or some other.
So, being a horror fan, you never ever seen this somewhere before, like this.
I've heard of it. I just never I never actually saw it. I heard of it, hearing that it was crazy or whatever, but I never actually sat down and watched it or seen anybody actually discuss it.
Those kids had a bigger accent than you two do, though, man. At the beginning,
I actually put down the notes. I was like, "Where the hell are these kids supposed to be from, man?" Because they were like, I was kind of hoping Alyssa Milano, who's the boss years, was gonna show up.
Yeah,
I was like, "Yo, if Alyssa Milano's in this, that'd be awesome." Or then,
what's up, Tony?
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yo, what about that crop top?
On the dudes, man.
Yeah,
that's what I said. The 80s was something, man. Ridiculous, booty shorts and crop tops,
shorty shorts.
Yeah, on the guys, it was like, what the?
Those outfits, man. Wow,
oh man, those are great.
I'm gonna rock one of those on the next episode.
Oh yeah.
We should start dressing we should pick one of the two movies and
dress
for it.
Yeah,
have a theme outfits.
Yeah. So anyway, let's come to our first kill, I guess, and we get the chef. So the chef, basically takes Angela into the walk-in fridge to try to molest her, and Ricky comes storming in, and the scene after that, he's the biggest pot I've ever seen in my life.
4 foot tall water boiling pot.
He has to stand on a step ladder to turn it. So it's like, all right.
Yeah, and even the way he takes that fall, there's no reason for him to have to pull that pot down on top of him.
No.
You know what I'm saying? He's holding the shelf above it. Even if the ladder goes out from you don't have to grab the pot and pull it. You could have just tried to tumble off to the side or something. But nah, he grabs that thing and dumps a 55-gallon pot of boiling water onto him. So
technically, he doesn't even die. So
he
doesn't really count.
One of the flaws there, right? He doesn't die, and it's like, why didn't you let anybody know?
He saw who it was. He saw who it was, and he didn't die. And he was screaming, which means he can talk after the pain subsides. So at some point, he's going to be able to tell who the hell he did, who did it.
Right. And also, you find out that it's a kid because he says, "What are you doing, kid?"
Yep. But what kid was it?
That is the question.
I love after the ambulance shows up and everything, and the camp owner's talking to the paramedic. I think it was a cop. He was like, "What's the diagnosis or what's the prognosis?" And dude's like, "He's burnt." What the fuck you mean? What's the prognosis? Dude's burnt all over.
Oh man, that cop knew nothing because even later when they find the kid in the boat and the snake comes out of his mouth, he's like, "I'm no expert on this. I'm no expert on this matter." And also, could we just talk about that camp owner for a second? Was that dude?
Gosh.
Was that not a friggin' mob guy looking for a front?
The cigar.
Some people, some mob guys own the bada bing, and other ones start a sleepaway camp for kids. What the fuck, man?
And he's like sleeping with Meg the counselor.
Oh, yeah,
like
he's trying to
50
hit Meg
years
up.
younger than him.
Meg, that bitch.
Oh my gosh.
So many bitches in this movie.
Judy.
Judy,
Like-
that Bhutan. The fucking girl. Hands up.
That Bhutan. She had like that Bailey ponytail going.
Yeah. See,
You
that's
know.
who Alyssa Milano should have played, was Judy.
The shirt with her name on it. Classic 80s.
That's the picture I put on our Instagram account that we were doing this tonight. You see Judy with her Judy shirt holding a volleyball.
Man, she got it good, all right. Shit.
Yeah.
Freaking hot iron to the cooch.
You never really see it.
But the shadow hands were enough, dude.
Yeah, but
Like-
the slowest motion of the like the slowest killing over fucking.
I'm sitting there thinking, if you have that much control over your hands to make these ridiculous shadows with them, like, why aren't you
Yeah.
trying to fight this person off of you?
And it's a kid. Like we find out it's a kid already before.
and
this.
my
Like
favorite-
really.
One of the things I loved was like, as I'm watching, I'm thinking to myself, like, if they ever made like a scary movie and they decide to like parody this scene, you know, those hands would have started making like shadow puppet ducks and shit when they
Yeah.
popped up.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Talk about the
Definitely.
owner though. That guy was played by Mike Kellen. He actually died that year in 1983 too. But yeah, he was definitely a fucking weirdo in this movie. Oh man.
He was great. He had a vendetta against Ricky. He thought Ricky was trying to ruin him.
Yeah. I'm not gonna let him go again.
12-year-old is trying to ruin your business for no reason.
I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you.
Oh man, he put the beats on Ricky too, man. He was like
Oh, my.
gorilla pounding on him when he was. Oh, it was dope.
He duffed him. Like it's like I thought it was Paulie Walnuts beating the shit out of somebody. Like he just went wild.
It's my fault. He did it to get to me, Meg. He's like, you got a
Vengeance for
12-year-old that hates you so much, he started killing people to ruin your summer camp. Like, what the fuck? Oh my god.
Meg. Oh shit.
But I tell you, Ricky was a little thug, man. He didn't give a shit.
Oh yeah, he was a fucking.
He was beefing with everybody, all those older kids. It was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you. My favorite was eat shit and live, Bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had some good one-liners. Yeah. So I guess the ending still holds up. All these years later, right, James?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, like you said, the flashback where you go back to the creep show mom talking to the kid, and then you get the gist of what the hell happened. But then when they get there and just that look on her face that she's given, and then they pan out and it's like, what the hell? But it was an awesome way to
All
end
time
it.
one of the freakiest faces and scenes. Like
Yeah.
how long it lasts, and it was uncomfortably.
And
like,
even
just,
I guess the effects or whatever they had to use to get the face on that body for that thing, like it just made it look so much creepier and even worse. You know what I'm saying?
you can look up how they did that. Actually, it's pretty fucking like primitive, but
Oh, really?
watching it, you can tell after you find out how they did it. But you're like, yeah, that was actually pretty cool. But it's really fucking just old school. She's hiding behind this dude's fucking body. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Rick, like when Bruce Lee died, they finished Game of Death by like gluing pictures of his face to mirrors and stuff, and having bodies like doubling.
Oh
It's
my
crazy.
God.
So then what's his name catches an arrow. The,
Big Mel takes one through the throat.
Mel, dude, just. Well, oh man, that was just a awkward looking arrow through the neck.
yeah.
No sound whatsoever. It just appeared through his neck.
Da-na-na-na.
Yeah, well, even before that, the other, I forget his name now, but I was calling him Mullet in my head. Mullet, the kid, they're all the older boys there are just trying to bang all the chicks, and they take him out to the lake at night. another boat capsizing, which is a big deal in this movie.
Yeah.
And then he gets. I'm thinking like. Nobody notices this person swim under the water, pop up under that boat, drown this dude, get out of there. Like, and I'm thinking this is like, especially once you find out who it is, how does this kid not able to like fight this person off and keep him from drowning?
Right.
That's what I can never understand. And I hate about a lot of horror movies is when the killer is, you find out who the killer is, and you're like, wait a minute. That fucking like 250-pound dude wouldn't have been able to overpower this person. Like, why are every killer like just immortal and overly strong and shit? Makes no sense.
Right. I mean, that's the difference between a movie like this and a movie like Tusk, whatever it's called. Husk. Yeah. In Husk, you're not invested, you're not interested, most aren't. Some people are. Sorry. But like here, this is an all around fun exposition in, a horror slasher movie, right? It hits all these, notes that overpower those plot holes, right? Especially the ending. I mean, the kills here are great. The campy acting is great. The atmosphere, the whole, setting setting at a summer camp where you have these, what's the word I'm looking for? Protagonistic, antagonistic campers. They're all basically assholes, Yeah. Like, where in Friday the 13th, it's a little different, you know what I mean? They're not like all bullies picking on Angela, even though that's kind of how Jason started, but that's not how the movies, roll out, right? So that's why I thought it was interesting here. They're switching around a little bit.
That's why, for me, I was kind of hoping it was Angela. Like, let this little girl get her fucking heat back from all these assholes that have been treating her like shit. So like when they're being mean to her and stuff, and then I was, you've kind of figuring it's going to be her or Ricky, because every time something foul happens to Angela, then the next thing you know, that person's getting clipped somehow.
Right.
Yeah. And he's actually a scene where he's like, you're not going to have to worry about them or that much longer after she gets thrown in the water by Meg, and he goes and he like puts his arm around her and says something like, you're not going to worry about them anymore or something. So they kind of like led you on to think it was going to be him. But I'm sorry, dude. When I watch these movies, and I think back to how I was as a kid, man, I'm surprised I'm not dead yet, because I made fun of some. I mean, I was an asshole. If somebody was weird or whatever, we were dicks. I should have easily been.
Nowadays, that shit doesn't fly.
I would easily been gone from like a serial killer real quick.
I mean, I guess I have two things left. Let's talk about this iconic ending, and then I'm going to pose the question about Angela. So, the iconic ending to this movie, right? We have Angela coddling her boo that they were going skinny dipping, Ricky's friend, Paul. And, she cut his fucking head off.
You hear the counselors are hearing a little bit of singing going on and are humming, and you walk up to two nude bodies. One is Angela, and the other is just the head in her lap. And she then stands up.
And you get full frontal.
The reveal.
Angela was really the boy in the beginning.
The bush.
Little piece of deal.
Oh, man.
Wow. I mean, dude, and then the credits roll over that face. Oh, my God. She looked like a monster. Like a fucking monster.
Yeah, that face alone was like, yeah, it was ridiculous. And even the noise that they had come out of her, man, that
Yeah,
was like, I was like, what the fuck?
like
Yeah,
you couldn't really tell like it almost looked like her chest was just ripped apart from all the blood and the hair covering her breast because it was really a female actress, so like her hair is covering her breast kind of, and
Well, the body was actually a boy.
what do you mean?
The stunt person who played the penis character is a boy.
played the penis character.
Yeah.
Like the penis had its own role in the movie.
Watch how that scene's made. You'll see. It's
I know. I'm gonna have to look that up, man, because I'm interested now.
Yeah, I assumed that it was just Felissa, the actress.
No. That was actually her head on a boy's body. Because she was an underage girl that she couldn't do nudity, and that was Watch out! Yeah, just look that up real quick. You'll see.
Yeah.
There's a reason. Sure. If you look at that scene again, the shoulders all of a sudden become really, really broad, and
it looks so awkward, but creepy awkward. Her. Like it was crazy.
Oh, it certainly was.
And I mean, like I said, the
flashback,
kind of like, you get the idea of what's going on. But I like the way when they would do the flashbacks, like everything in the background was all dark. Like it was just like, except for the furniture and stuff. So it was almost instead of like seeing, a replay, it was almost like you were seeing a memory kind of like only the important shit or whatever, I guess. But I like the way they did that. That was cool.
And that brings me to the last thing I wanted to mention, and it's one of the flaws, what is Angela's real motivation? I mean, how do you go from losing your father and brother or sister, father and sister, and moving in with your aunt who makes you become a girl to slaughtering everybody at a sleepaway camp 7 years later? You know what I mean? There's a lot of questions to be answered. And in the sequels, it's just like, oh, Angela officially gets a sex change. She's now a girl, and she just kills for fun anybody that fucks with her. And she's a camp counselor. That's how those movies play out. You don't really go into, the mother, because she had to have a mother. Then the aunt. Also in the movie, you get that one flashback where she sees her father with the other guy. Like, what is the significance of that? You know what I mean?
See, I think, there's also, was it right during that same flashback where it looks like her and the brother, or I guess him and her, whatever, are watching the father and the guy. There's that scene where like the brother and sister are in the bed together. And they're like pulling at each other's clothes and stuff. So it's like should little kids, especially brothers and sisters, be like experimenting with each other like that? Like, was there some kind of other sexual abuse happening? Or because at that point I was like, well, is that the little brother? Or is that supposed to be like Ricky when she first moved in over there? And now like Ricky's like, you're a girl, but you gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're my cousin, so maybe I can try to mess with you. I don't know, but. From that scene alone, I was kind of assuming there was some kind of sexual abuse or something going on in her life.
Right. I mean, that's the problem. There's assumptions and there's insinuations. I mean, I didn't really get that vibe, I guess. I don't know. I'm just, they obviously.
The fact that they were watching the dad and the dude together and laughing like that, like how was their home life and what were they used to seeing? And they thought that was like funny or something. It was just, I don't know. And the mother was obviously not around anywhere to be found. So,
like what's her real motivation here? Like, what happened? You have this mother, crazy aunt, who's making you dress up like your daughter. That they always wanted, and then you go to murdering anybody who offends you or your cousin. Like, that's what happens. I don't know, maybe.
I mean, it's gotta like it's one thing if I don't know, like whatever. If you're born thinking you were supposed to be, if you're born a male and you think you're supposed to be a female, but it's another thing that like you hit like 8 years old and now all of a sudden someone's telling you that you're a girl. You know, it's gonna screw your head up. To be
Well, that's the thing. Like
told that.
having the aunt make you become a girl, right? That's what, you know, fucks you up. But like seeing your dad with another man long before your aunt tries to make you a girl, that how does that
I
equal
think
out? All
that
I
was
see is
just
homophobia. That's all I see out here.
yeah, but then technically she's still a boy, and then Ricky's homeboy, what's his name, Paul, the other kid.
Yeah.
He's like hitting on her. So in her mind, maybe she's saying, well, I saw dad with a dude. And even though I'm still a dude technically, and this dude's trying to kiss me, am I supposed to like this because we're both guys? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it was trying to show like some kind of confusion with that. Because, I mean, you look like a girl. Everybody's treating you like you're a girl. You've been told for however many years now that you are a girl. You're living your life as a little girl. And now you're hitting that age where boys start paying attention to you and they're thinking you're a girl. But just because you're told you're a girl, are you attracted to boys now, or are you still going to be attracted to other girls because that's how you were wired to begin with? You know? So, like, she's not kissing Paul because she's a little girl who's getting curious about her sexuality. She's doing it because what she thinks that's what she has to do now because she's supposed to be a girl.
It didn't help that she was already traumatized and her head was already fucked up that then she goes to this aunt's house and she's already basically probably a mute at that point and just so traumatized. And now all of a sudden, hey, you're my daughter. You know, you're a girl now, and I've always wanted a girl. And I couldn't even imagine how much shit's going on in that head. And then living in that house with that crazy ass aunt, if she's acting like that every day of her life.
Oh, God, she's just creepy as fuck, that lady.
Yeah.
And also, Ricky never knew his cousin before. You didn't know?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like, does Ricky know that technically she's a dude? Is that why he's so like overly protective of her, or is it just because of how timid and quiet she is, and he's like this little hard rock, you know?
Maybe he was just told, like, you know, what happened to her because he tells Paul what happened to her as a kid. Paul says, "Oh, Ricky told me what happened to you," so he knows, but maybe they just didn't live close enough that he never met him or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think the motivation, you know, I mean, it's there. It makes more sense to me than Tusk, whatever the fuck it's called.
Husk. Cornhusker.
After watching Husk, I was kind of hoping that like Paul would have had.
But did you notice that when the cook died, or when the cook got burned, they were cooking corn?
Ooh, shit!
It's all coming together, man.
They were shucking the corn, baby.
Oh man! So yeah, I mean,
there was also another pretty serious product placement of a Pepsi sign on the door. I don't know if you guys picked that up. And after Bloody Birthday with the set, like, did Pepsi have like stock in all these 80s slasher movies? My aunt worked for Pepsi, so if I was like alive and capable by then, I would have been getting like free merch from all these kind of things. She used to hook me up with all kinds of stuff.
Sleepaway Camp VHS, yeah. Oh man, so I guess we could rope it in now to our final thoughts. Anything else we should say about it? I mean, you know, we all know this is, you know, iconic and all that stuff. Pretty much covered everything. So let's give it a rating here. Jim, you want to kick it off?
Yeah.
Rating?
Yeah, I'm gonna. I'm going for. I'm probably gonna go for what it is. I'm gonna go 4 out of 5 zombie heads. The classic factor definitely holds true today, almost 20 or what, 23 years later. The end scene alone, put that image up. Everybody knows what it's from. It takes them back to that movie, and that alone speaks volumes. Killings were really decent. Makes you think. Movie makes you think. Obviously, it doesn't really give everything away as to why she's doing this or who the killer is during the film. And aside from some acting issues, but for the time, I guess it's okay. A lot of movies back then seem to have these type of acting performances. Other than that, yeah, really good film, really good horror film, classic, and I would always recommend this to anybody starting out.
Definitely classic. All right, so 4 for you, James.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 4 too, man. Like I said, I've heard of this movie a bunch. I've heard it spoken about, but I never got around to watching it. And now that I watch it, I understand why it's considered a classic and why people love it so much. And I loved it like all the way through. I loved it. So all just especially that just the way that ending. For not seeing it ever and watching it for the first time, it kind of comes out of nowhere almost, and then it's like it was just that last image that you see of that weird screaming face and the weird body attached to it. It's just so awkward and creepy. So yeah, I loved it, man.
I'm gonna actually kick it up a notch. I'm gonna go with 4.5 zombie heads on my rating because not only does it have the classic factor, not only does it have the fucking amazing ending, but it keeps your attention the whole time. You want to know what the fuck is going on. And all those little plot holes that we talked about now, those are afterthoughts. You know what I mean? When you watch this movie in the 90 minutes that it is, it's fucking awesome. It keeps your attention. The kills look great, even though at some points it's a little cheese because, 80s practical effects, no problem. The acting, I think, works on, the cheese level of it is perfect. It's not over the top, but it has that camp factor to it. No pun intended. But, like, look at Judy. She is an awesome, awesome, awesome character to kill.
Yeah.
Meg, awesome character to kill, And like James said, you're rooting for her to be the killer. You want Amanda to be the killer, right? So, even though it does have its flaws and plot holes, ultimately, 4.5 stars. Phenomenal ending. One of a kind slasher. So has it, it stands out from all the rest. All right.
Yeah, and before you guys go and see how that last scene was made, it basically, I'm reading right now, refreshing my memory. It was actually a college boy who had a
Small Pecker
mask cast of Felissa Rose's face. So he was actually wearing a mask of her over top of his own face during that scene.
Wow.
Yeah, I gotta rewatch that.
Yeah,
and he actually had to get drunk before he was able to do the scene. That's what it says here. And a shot of, and I mentioned how we never see Judy's dead body. There was a scene that was actually cut by the Motion Picture Association for being too grisly of her dead body.
Ooh.
All we see is basically the shadow of the curling iron and then her get pushed behind the bed, but we never actually see her body. So that's why.
I'll have to talk to Michael, the Blu-ray King, and find out if they ever put those deleted scenes out or if there's a director's cut.
I do not know.
25 years next year. You never know.
Yeah, a little bit of trivia for you.
All right, beautiful, man. So we have our episode 8 in the bag. All right. Well, we already picked our movies for next time. Microwave Massacre.
Oh my god.
And Microwave Massacre. And Baby Blood.
It's gonna be so ridiculous.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
Well, hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, email, however, Twitter. We're available readily. Go to deathbypodcast.com, hit the info section if anything, and email us. So we're out, folks. It's been a pleasure. Happy horrors to you.
Happy New Year. Happy 2017 to everybody. And hopefully this brings out a great year for Slice and Dice and everybody in the Horrorphilia network.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Well, over and out, folks.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys. Peace.